like to make a motion to open the meeting for the Groveland Conservation Commission on September 13th at 7:05 PM.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I've been away, but I've been practicing.
Did the second man tonight?
I am,
Okay.
by second.
Second man.
Okay, we're going to review the information on 929, 931 Salem Street.
You want us first?
Yes,
Okay.
Before we begin, do you want to talk about the microphones?
please come up and speak into the mic.
Well, we gotta sit down with you.
Yes.
So the audience, the TV audience will be happy.
So I'm Larry Kelley, Kendall Construction.
Hi.
I've been working in town since I was 22, I'm 61. Fadi, you know Fadi.
Yep, come on
Okay.
up, have a seat.
So we're in here for a preliminary discussion prior to the on-site meeting.
You
We're
have to-
being told that we have to speak into the mics because
Okay.
the people that are listening cannot hear,
So
so it's not, it's not.
Yeah,
personal.
you can't push it away.
I'm very used to using, reading and understanding order of conditions, and this one was a little different, so I'll start by trying to just show you preliminary where we are and stuff. This is the project. The wetlands are out here. We're gonna go to another plan. This is Salem Street heading towards Georgetown. Everybody probably knows the site. There's a house here, which is gonna be torn down. There's an auto body shop right there that's gonna be torn down. We'll look at this plan first. This is the new building. It's all been approved. This is the new gas pumps enclosed. I'm sorry, this is the new gas pump island. These are the gas pumps enclosed. I highlighted the wetlands, the boundary of the wetlands, which was done by a botanist. The orange is the 50-foot buffer zone. The yellow is the 100-foot buffer zone. Okay, so this is the bar room, whatever the hell you call it, the 97 pub. My yard is right here, Kendall Construction. Valley Tree is right here. Okay. With the ongoing 97 project, I'll just switch to this one. They put in each curb cut. Boom, boom. We haven't done anything on the site at all, except we put all the erosion control in. Double stake K bales and silt fence that was buried. Even across the front, we stopped here. Okay? So now we'll go to the order of conditions. Obviously, it's been recorded. You know, and there's a few things that you know, we just kind of, I wanted to discuss and figure out. Well, the first thing, which is a simple one, the stopping work November 1st and picking up work again April 15th. Fadi's finally just about to get a demolition permit. He was subject to all the DEP clarifications on, you know, for a demo permit. He did the asbestos removal and everything, and we're within a few days, correct?
Permit will be done on Monday, actually.
A month.
Next
There's-
Monday.
After you clean up, there was only
You
a
have to wait 10
little,
days.
a little asbestos in the tile in a bathroom floor. And so he did all that. He's working with the building inspector. Prior to him purchasing the property, there was a clean 21E done on the property, and that was provided to you guys.
It
But
was?
yeah, by Hamlin. I'm not used to all these.
John Clement,
John Clements did it.
the chief, fire chief.
And
he did.
ex-fire chief, Hamlin was is the engineer that did all the work for Fadi.
My engineering.
So
Yeah.
I talked to him. that's an issue, we'll get another
We
copy.
we didn't get it. I don't know, Rosemary's not here, but,
Okay,
yeah, as far as I know, we didn't get it, but
Is there a folder?
she's got it, but she'll be back in a few
Okay.
minutes, so we'll
well,
ask her.
he didn't close on it till they got it, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, um, so, the first question on number 5 is, prior to November 15th, we're gonna tear down these buildings, get everything out of here, and there's about 5,000 yards of material I've gotta move. I have to lower it. So, we can actually put this foundation in if we have to, after November 1st, and stay outside the 100-foot buffer. You know, just be very careful along this edge. And we're willing, you know, to do any extra erosion control or anything there, to be careful. We don't know whether we're gonna get it in by November 15th. We're probably gonna get it in after, but the buffer zone comes in very close. Okay? So we know we're not gonna do any work here at all after November 15th. The entire site drains this way. And on the next page, I'll show you, there's a large drainage system with chambers. Prior to the chambers, there's a total of 3 grease trap, oil trap catch basins, and a 2,500-gallon oil separator tank. So those probably aren't gonna get into the spring, but we will, you know, put a holding area here with stone in it, okay? So I'll keep going on the order. I'm going down the line. Obviously, we're gonna get a DEP permit up there, blah, blah, blah. We haven't done any tree cutting. They did a little tree cutting away from the wetlands area, and there's very few trees.
In the middle,
Yeah.
right
there's-
next to the house.
Yeah, there's very few trees in this wetlands buffer zone that we have to cut. There's just a few little clippings, and we obviously won't do that till we have our pre-construction meeting.
You're supposed to mark all the trees that are
We'll do that,
4 inches or greater
yeah. There almost isn't any.
within the buffer.
Yeah, there almost isn't any. If there is, it's gonna be like 5 or 6 inches, you know? And we will have that done for the pre-construction meeting. Yep. Number 5, just so you know, I presently am working on probably 15 order of conditions all over the place. I have 1,000 hay bales in my trailers. I stock silt fence, so there's very limited space on this site, so my yard is across the street. So we'll have silt fence and hay bales right there. We don't want to store them on the site, you know? As you know, a SWEP, which is a stormwater management plan, is a permit by right when you start a project over an acre or 2 acres. And Fadi's engineer, who has got all the permits, is... Hamlin?
Halim,
Yeah, Halim. He's gonna start that when we start. In other words, I believe it's rain over 1 inch, or over so many inches, it has to be a report. He's gonna do that, okay? So this is the same guy that did
Yeah,
all the,
Hal.
all the civil engineering, all the notice of intent, the whole shebang.
So he's gonna
Do the SWEP.
do the...
He's gonna do the SWEP, and he's gonna monitor the SWEP.
And he'll give us the NIPD's reports.
Correct. Yep. So then we get into additional conditions, okay? And this is where we're a little confused, we're not that smart, you know? The first thing says, number 4, a copy of inspections reports issued by a wetland scientist employed by the applicant shall be sent to the commission in a timely fashion. And before we discuss that, let me just read the next one. A certified environmental monitor or experienced construction monitor designated and commissioned by the applicant, but subject to the review by the commission, will perform weekly site inspections to review the status of the erosion control barrier in the compliance of the order of conditions. So you can see where I got a little confused.
Well, number 4 refers to that we're supposed to get reports in a timely fashion.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
Well, let me just say
about
this.
number
We're not doing a wetlands replication area,
4. Right.
right? We're not doing any plantings. We're not doing any filling, okay? And the erosion control, we're never gonna go on the other side of it. So, well, let's just jump.
Are you worried about a breach or something, Mike? I wasn't here for the earlier discussion, but
Well,
is it something that could be after a major storm event? Instead of weekly.
It's a very high incline.
Yeah, but suppose it doesn't rain for 6 weeks, do we care?
well, then, I guess the idea here was to have either an environmental monitor who would review the work, the status of the erosion controls in compliance with the orders, and issue a report. So we're supposed to get a monthly summary report based on those site inspections.
And that's no problem, Mike.
No.
But look at the words I'm looking at. I'm
Which
looking at
ones?
wetland scientist,
Yeah,
number
that-
4.
Forget about that.
Okay.
Because that should have been environmental monitor.
Okay, then I got experienced construction monitor or environmental monitor.
Yes.
So,
You tell us what you want.
Okay.
We'll review it, and if we like
well,
it, we'll tell you.
I have an unlimited mass builder's license.
Yes.
Obviously, you don't want it to be me,
No,
okay?
somebody, third party.
Charlie Brett is the Hamilton and Wenham building inspector. We're worried about cost,
Sure.
Fadi's been hit with everything on this project.
Yep.
Charlie Brett's the Hamilton and Wenham building inspector. I bring that up, okay? When you say wetland scientists and everything, there's very little, I use 3 or 4 of them, they got an associate's degree from Wentworth.
Yep.
So, who's who and what's what?
No. In my opinion, but it depends.
If she
on the
wasn't
rest of-
working here, I'd hire her.
Yeah, no, depending upon the rest of the commission. Like I said, I think the idea is to have it looked at by an experienced third party who will give us an idea, do a look at everything on a weekly basis,
Okay.
checklist or whatever developed, and then give us a summary of that once a month.
Okay?
So, it should be somebody who, like I say, third party, and who has some experience with a site, environmentally sensitive site.
Okay.
Do you have somebody in mind right now?
Well, let me ask you this. Right now, when we leave here tonight, we'd like to have a site meeting,
Yeah.
with
Yeah, we
everybody.
can-
Whatever.
well-
Yeah, we'll do that whenever you can. Can we at least tear down the buildings and get this started before we get this guy on board? All the buildings are outside let me
Look at the erosion control.
yeah, it's all in.
No, if we looked at it.
No, we haven't had a pre-construction meeting
Right,
yet.
but
But we could
somebody
do
should look at that before
we
they-
could do a pre-construction meeting tomorrow,
You're right.
probably. Because we're going over most of this stuff tonight anyway.
Correct.
So it's really a matter of Rosemary and I putting our eyes on this stuff. So, we could do that, and then you could start the construction.
Demolition.
The demolition.
There's-
And
there's-
then, as long as we have a report from whoever it is you choose, that includes what was done, I would say that's all right.
The first 2 things we have to do, you'll like the erosion control. There's 2 buildings here, we gotta get rid of them. And there's about 5,000 yards of material, we gotta bring it down. And as we bring it down, it'll actually help the situation, because things are gonna flow towards the street and away from the wetlands,
Yeah.
Are you going to use the house for the controlled burn for the fire department like you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the house. They're training on it on Sunday.
On Sunday that's gonna happen?
Yeah, no burning, I
Are you
believe.
aware of that? Oh, they're not gonna burn?
No burning.
Oh, okay, I thought they were gonna burn it down. It
No,
sounded like a-
no,
Okay,
the state does not allow the fire department to do that,
okay.
because they
You
only
end-
give so many every
You end
year.
up with a lot of black.
Sure, no, I know that. I knew there was some plan with the fire department though.
They just may put a smoke in it with a machine that smoke
Gotcha.
the house.
Okay,
So it's really a matter of if you can get somebody a name.
Yep.
I mean, if you had a name tonight, we could vote on it and approve it.
Well, it's just a funny definition, you know?
Okay, but I told
So
you.
we're agreeing and
But I-
saying, give us a
I
give us a
think
name.
I've widened the,
Yeah.
take the wetland scientist out of it.
So for construction monitor, I'd like to use Charlie Brett. He's the Hamilton and Wenham building inspector. He does, I've had some asbestos removal,
Yep.
and I have an unlimited mass builder's license.
Yeah.
But he oversees the asbestos removal for me.
Okay.
Um,
And he can do the reports.
He can do the report, no problem.
You know, I mean, I think.
And he's gonna be a reasonable cost for fire.
I think personally, it's gonna take, maybe an hour or two a week at the most to
Right,
do
that's-
this
yeah.
job.
Obviously, I'm not gonna let anything get on the other side of that erosion
Yeah.
control.
So,
Do you want to make a motion?
yeah, go ahead.
I move that we accept
Charles Brett,
as the inspector for,
what he is, he's a mass licensed building inspector with all the courses.
He
to
would
fulfill
qualify.
paragraph
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
4 and 5 in the
E5,
E5,
yeah.
in the order of conditions. I can't second it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we took care of that one. for you,
Yeah,
Larry.
that was easy.
I do want to take a step back though about, in terms of the work, you were talking about the demo being done on November 15th. We haven't addressed that.
Oh,
No, the demo's
But
gonna
it's
be
out-
done in a week if we can,
Okay,
the building inspector's just about to issue a permit. Those buildings will come down like nothing.
Yeah, I think you were talking about trying to get the foundation in.
Yeah, I was talking
For the
about the
15.
foundation.
correct.
But even
We
that's
have a-
outside the buffer zone, right?
Yes, you'll see right on that plan, you gotta be very careful on that back corner to do it, you know? Yep,
It's out of our jurisdiction, it's out of our jurisdiction.
okay. Yep. So
What else?
here's the one that got me all shook up.
Uh-oh.
So, number 9, okay? The applicant shall show proof of negotiations and consultation with Parker River Clean Water Association regarding potential mitigation measures for the turtle habitat on the property. What the hell does that mean?
Have you talked to them?
No,
That'd be a good start.
They know all about the turtle migration and,
They were very
Mitigation.
upset about this project,
okay.
and they probably couldn't believe that we actually permitted it. That's how upset they were. So what I would suggest is start by calling George Comiskey and just tell him, we ask that you talk to him and see what he says, because I don't know what kind of mitigation they may want. The reason why we put it in this way is we don't want to order you to donate anything towards that, or, part of the property, or a conservation restriction. But that's up to you to negotiate with him. So we're just saying, whatever you can work out, because we know that it's a
Okay, so
potential problem.
it's not necessarily holding anything up.
No.
Okay.
It's just a good neighbor thing.
I want to tell you something about the turtles.
Yes.
This much better what's on it today,
Oh,
once
I
this
know.
built.
That's why we.
No one's deciding that, no one.
Not to hash back any old thing.
And I
right?
care, very much.
know.
When
I
I
know
was
you
at the BP, the Getty station here,
Yep.
I did it myself. I went right into the water, in the river, tires were covered halfway with the sand. I pulled them out and get rid of them the right way.
Yep.
I clean up the place very
Oh, yeah.
well.
No, I
So
know.
is this place.
That's why we gave you the waiver,
Thank
you know,
Mike.
because we know.
And this is
that-
your opportunity to tell the people that you're going to be a good,
Thank you.
a good steward.
See this building over
Absolutely.
here? I can't figure out where the septic system is for that bathroom. Okay? All right, so you plan based on probability, not possibility, right? What a plus this is to get rid of this mess.
Yeah.
Then the last one. So applicants shall abide by all requirements of the Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program, either at conditions on the project or new requirements to mitigate. As you know, in this order of conditions, they were sent the thing. They didn't come back with anything that I know of.
Check with Hal, because
Now, you got all these first names. Who's Hal?
Oh, that's the
the
engineer.
engineer,
Oh, your engineer.
That's his
Okay.
nickname.
Okay.
because I'm I know we filed with Natural Heritage, and I think that they decided it was in Mesa, and they were gonna decide whether it was a taking or not. I would probably guess that they decided it wasn't a taking, but they may have given specific things. Rosemary, we haven't seen anything from Natural Heritage on this site, right?
No.
No.
Nope,
And we
nothing.
didn't get a copy of the 21E on this, did we?
Nope.
Okay,
We
yeah,
did
so we
not.
need a copy of the 21E, and then you need to tell us what Natural Heritage, he should have got a letter from Natural Heritage that says something about their decision. You didn't get anything in the mail from Natural Heritage.
I have to
Thought he
ask-
didn't, maybe his engineer
Yeah,
did.
well, that's what I mean,
Okay.
maybe it's just, you know,
Do you want me to get him on the phone?
No, not tonight. So the next thing is, we'd like to have a site meeting,
yeah,
Whenever you-
tomorrow.
whenever you can.
Um,
And the more,
If you do it early, I'm in.
the more members, the better. Tomorrow's not a good day, I gotta
Okay,
produce.
well, you want, but, I mean, you want to do next Monday?
Whatever you guys want, Saturday, whatever, just
Oh,
tomorrow's.
you want to do that? We don't, normally on pre-construction now, we let Rosemary do it. If
Okay.
I'm available, I go with
Are we
it.
talking
Okay.
pre-construction or site visit?
Site visit.
Okay.
No,
you
no,
said
it's a
pre-construction.
pre-construction. I'm
Okay.
sorry,
Pre-construction.
So we're gonna get the correct wetland scientist or construction monitor.
Yes.
We've agreed on Charlie Brett, okay? All we're looking to do is get the erosion control approved at this point. We're gonna just deal with getting these buildings out of there.
Right. So do you want to?
Is the corner of that foundation staked? Is that something that can be looked at during the
No, but I
pre-construction?
can show you within inches,
Yeah, if you could do that, I think that would be
Yeah, no
a
problem.
real useful
no problem.
thing.
They have to remove the buildings and still demo and take out all the dirt too, so.
I understand.
I'm just
I
saying.
understand,
that I could-
but it would just,
Yeah.
it'd be useful to know where the corner of that foundation is going
You
to
know,
be
what
with
we-
respect to the
What we-
erosion
what
control.
we wanted-
That's all I'm saying.
I got a
agree.
letter
No,
from, a letter
And
from
the sooner you know about that, the
Yeah.
better.
the chairman that I want to discuss, and we're 100% accessible, you know? You don't have to send us letters.
Okay, yes,
I know.
we'll keep that one separate.
Okay,
But, so do you want to do tomorrow at 11:30 a.m.? Or you said that's a bad day?
no, let's do
That's
it.
all right? Rosemary, 11:30 tomorrow? I should be back by then. You gonna make it?
No, not 11:30. I said early.
You can go there anytime. There's nothing to hide, you know?
Except for a septic system.
Pardon?
Except for a septic system.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where it is.
There you
No,
go.
Yeah,
So we'll see you then.
okay. So we'll do just a few other things quick then. So 11:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and anybody's welcome to go there anytime they want and look at the erosion control. There's nothing to hide. So, on this 186 Washington Street. Okay,
Wait, what?
this is, what's,
Item number 8.
Are we, hold on, are we in the middle of a hearing?
No,
No,
that was
that one's
just a
done.
discussion, so
Are we
we're,
closing it?
No, that was a discussion, that was item 5.
Okay, all
So
right.
I think we're done with
We're
item
done.
Just
5.
discussion, okay.
I'm gonna get,
fine.
we're gonna get out of here
Fine,
quick for all
no,
these
I
things.
just didn't know if we were in the middle of a hearing that
No.
hadn't been closed. Okay,
So anyways, I never started that order of conditions
So
on,
you're on number 8.
no,
yes.
Yes.
On our
Our
agenda,
list-
Our agenda.
yes.
Our list, we have an
186
agenda.
Washington,
is number 8?
yes.
Okay, you can go, I'll stay.
All right, sir, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for
See you.
the,
Good night.
thanks a lot.
Were we number 1?
Yeah, you were the
Should I go
first
have a
one.
couple of Chardonnays?
No,
Thank you.
No, no,
No,
no.
no.
Come
Stay
back.
here.
You
We're
finish
doing
up
you now.
with-
Oh, you're doing
Yeah,
it?
yeah, we're
Yeah.
jumping
Oh, okay.
ahead.
we say enough of
You're
you today,
here.
we're ready.
Oh, yeah, I'll be quick.
We want to get it all out of the way.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
So, the, what's his name? I can't think of it. The police-
Gorski.
Yeah. So Eric got me involved in the end there, you know? And I didn't stop the job or anything, I just cleaned it all up. So I got the letter, and in the next 10 days, I'll dig out that swale, I'll put all kinds of erosion control in there. That water finally stopped. It stopped in August, you know? So that's just some spring or capillary flow that comes from the hill way up
There's a
back.
ledge or something up there, and
Yeah.
there's just water.
Okay, I've had Bobby Kelley in there, we analyzed the whole thing, and he just says, hey, clean it out and put a swale in.
I haven't been by. You went by the last time, right?
Yes.
The last time I was there, it was still wet.
It was
and-
trickling.
And it was
Yeah.
still wet.
But there hasn't been anything there for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
So,
are you gonna put a top coat on?
no, well, he is eventually.
Yes, eventually, okay.
Yeah, that's-
Because part of that is that driveway is just shooting the water right out into the
Yeah, so
street.
alls I'm gonna do is clean out the swale,
Yeah,
put new erosion control in, grade the swale, loom the swale, and I'm gonna put, as we discussed, some riprap on the downside of the driveway.
yeah, so we were there, July sometime? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It was
Sounds good.
running, it was pretty funny, it was running all of July, just trickling. It's not a broken water main
I
or
don't
anything
know-
like
no,
that.
it isn't. I
It's,
don't know why it
it's,
stopped.
it's just,
No, you can see it
It's just a
coming
ca-
down from the hill.
it's a capillary
You can
flow,
see
it's
it
not the
coming down
water
from the
table,
hill.
it's just coming down the
Yeah,
hill.
and it's got nowhere to go, because that thing's all filled in, and
Okay.
it goes out in the street.
So,
Pretty simple.
the only other thing, you know, everybody's talking about soil tests lately, I've been watching you guys on TV and everything. I test my loom all the time, you know? Because I'm providing loom to both, you know, Middlesex, Merrimack College, Phillips Exeter, and I have a big job at Phillips Exeter in Exeter, New Hampshire. So, just so you know, UMass I overnight express baggies all the time. And sometimes if I get an offer to buy a lot of loom, or get a lot of loom from a surplus job, I check it. So, you can have that. I mean, here's a perfect example. This loom was tested for everything, all natural background materials. And this loom was low on, I'm interested both in P&H and organic content. This loom was low on organic content. But UMass charges, I think it's $35. So you can send anything. That's just a copy, you know?
This pertains to Sewell Street.
No.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm saying it could be used in that.
Yeah, I'll give you a
I'm
perfect.
just explaining to
I'll give you a perfect example. There's loom in a budding town or city of Haverhill at a school that's being built, and I'm not interested in getting it, you know? So you gotta be careful, but UMass will test anything you send them. There's all the information. And I test my loom all the time because I take it to fairly big jobs, you know?
So just one more thing about this. I know you said you were involved at the end.
Yeah,
Okay. It's been going on for a while,
I know.
so I know it's not you, I know it's him.
yeah.
But we need to send a letter, so there's a paper
No,
trail.
that's okay. I understand.
Okay, and I just want you to know we're gonna be following up,
Yeah.
and we're gonna either
You
vote
know, it was funny when.
or decide on fines. I
Yeah.
just want him to know as
We don't
well.
want any fines.
No, I
I'll
don't
take care of
either,
it.
but it's just, I know Rosemary's made numerous phone calls and it hasn't been resolved, so we need to take the next step, which is,
I've been a little remiss in taking care of that.
okay,
So I will be unremiss
So 10 days,
Make sure I call either Rosemary or him,
right,
period.
yes. You need to let her know when it's all set so that she can go back out and take a look and then to take you off the
Yep.
list, okay?
No problem.
All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay,
10 days from
let's,
today?
I'm sorry?
10 days from today?
10
Yes.
days from
Okay.
today,
10 days from today.
or fines.
Right.
Okay, number 3.
try to do one of these now.
7 Pino is here, she's here as well, 7 Pino is
Yeah,
here.
those should start at 7:30, but we probably can, Jay's been sitting there a while, so we can do 3 or 4, but we're probably gonna have to do one of them off
Yeah.
until
He's right off the same list.
Okay,
So I would say,
35.
yeah.
Okay, could I have 35 Wood Street up to the table? And we just need to let you guys know we're speaking into the microphones tonight because there was some complaints about not being able to hear the audience and us. So that's why they're like right in front of you.
Okay. My name is Michael Crow. I'm Jay Ogden, which I
Hello.
think you know. I am in a contract to purchase 35 Wood Street from Jay, or his company that owns it.
Yep,
I'm aware of the order of conditions. We've started the initial part of doing some work over there. We've had a site visit with Rosemary and Mike last week. And I'm here primarily for purposes of discussing the seasonal restriction and the magnitude / type of work that can be done on this property. So I thought I would just start by explaining what my plans were and how what I was interpreting, because we've had some discussion about that date and what it impacts. So looking to get a clarification of that. The hay bales are in place. It's ready to go. I've got 4 or 5 trees to take out of there. It's my intention to start as soon as practical, which, within a week, and get this work going, get a foundation in the ground, backfill, stabilize the site, get it prepped with the anticipation that I'm aware of this seasonal restriction of doing work, which I had interpreted to be disturbing soil within that buffer zone area. So my hope and plan was to get the foundation in and get it stabilized. It can be reviewed by Rosemary to indicate that we have stabilized the site, the back area. There's a portion of the foundation is in the buffer zone. The majority of it is not. So my proposal was that I would be putting some loom down, probably strawing over that, and I would add, just as an additional precaution, an additional 2 small sections of silt fence at the 100-foot buffer zones on either side or corner of the house to further protect any kind of erosion that would be effectively by me framing the house during the winter months to protect that. And so the discussions came up about whether or not that's an allowed activity or not. I've consulted with my engineers, actually several of them, and I haven't had any of them indicate they thought that there was any risk to the resource area, since we would not be doing any kind of site work in the soil anywhere within that buffer zone. And if you can see on the plan here, the buffer zone runs through this corner of the house. So I would be putting a silt fence along this area here, and then it runs down this way, and then from here over to the other silt fence that's already been installed. And that the activity that I would be doing would be outside the buffer zone in terms of bringing a truck in, putting wood down, framing the house, and then working on the inside during the winter. And if there's any additional work come spring, after the seasonal restrictions over, we would tidy the rest of the site up. And from where I'm looking at it, it seemed reasonable to me that we were making the precautions and necessary to continue on with this project during a time, most of which when the ground is frozen and there's not a great risk of anything happening to it. And was just looking for some concurrence that my approach is reasonable under the circumstances to be able to continue forward on that basis.
The property has a stream on it?
This
Not that I'm
parcel actually
aware
does
of.
not have a actual stream on it. The rear portion of it is a part of a pond that does occasionally flow across an existing culvert to a lower wetland area. It's not flowing right now.
So it's an intermittent stream.
I've actually never seen the culvert underwater.
Not when I've been out there.
No, all right. I got, well, it's
Yeah.
tiny, but
Mhm.
I got the whole area circled because I wasn't sure which piece it was.
I own about 40 more acres out behind it, and there's a couple of streams.
Yes, there are.
All right.
Well, are we looking for an interpretation
Yeah.
on what is entailed by a seasonal waiver?
Or a seasonal restriction, does it cover working on framing a house?
Well, my recollection, I haven't looked at the bylaw in a while, but my recollection is we have a sort of a two-tiered waiver, one of them involving site work, and the other one involving anything that's not involving any sort of grading or site work, which would include construction, exterior construction.
Mhm.
Yep. I
And
think,
do you have that section?
Yeah, I'm just looking for that right now. 'Cause-
I didn't read anything with that, unless there was another section that might have had that
no, it's
specified.
it's in the fees. It's
Oh, it
not,
is? I got that too. This section?
yeah. So for a seasonal restriction waiver, excavation, foundation, and grading work per day is $400. All other exterior work per day is $200. So we've
That's
interpreted.
is that the fine schedule?
Fee schedule.
No, that's a fee
A
schedule.
fee schedule.
So
Um,
is that fee schedule separate from the wetlands protection bylaws and regulations?
Yes, that's under our procedures, it's not under the bylaw. So under the
Okay.
bylaw, we're permitted to set our own fees.
Okay.
So,
So your bylaw and regulations has an enforcement section that references a fee, a fine of $300 per day.
yes,
So there's another document that expands and clarifies and tiers that out a little bit?
on
So
fines.
the waiver is a two-step
No.
process. One of them is we decide whether to allow it at all. The next step is to decide what sort of fees will be associated with that waiver. It's not a fine.
Okay.
Unless you go
Yeah,
ahead and
the
do
fine
it.
doesn't
This, you
have
go ahead and do it without our
The
permission.
fine doesn't have anything to do with the seasonal restriction unless, obviously,
Well,
unless they violated
if they're,
it.
yeah.
Right. I mean, just, again, from having read, because I didn't see that piece, but from reading this, I mean, I'm still, I guess, having a little trouble interpreting if the foundation's in, the site is done, I'm not doing any site work, that I'm not working in the resource area because I'm working effectively in the airspace above that, and I'm not touching the resource area, which is the ground, the soils, the wetlands, and I'm not impacting it by working on that space above the ground. I mean, that's the hard part I've had to understand, why I would even need a waiver effectively for doing something that I'm not disturbing
I
in
think
any
that's a
way the
distinction,
resource area.
with due respect, I think that's a distinction that you're making that serves your purposes, but you're still working in the area.
I think
In the
he's-
area, correct. But with the intent of the bylaw, which is to protect the resource area. So I think with the additional provisions of putting some additional siltation out there, which prevents any other sort of things, another layer of protection that the resource areas is being protected by this order of conditions and allowing us to continue to frame on that property. I mean, that's,
I had read through your bylaws and regulations, and what I took away from it was that you're primarily concerned about alteration to the resource areas and the buffer areas,
Primarily.
and the work that would be done on top of the foundation it has very little impact, and I would argue no altering effects to the buffer zone around it.
So you're putting a roof on, you're up in the air,
Yep.
and there's roofing material flying all over the place. If you can guarantee it's not gonna hit the ground, then maybe we can talk.
but, no, I understand, and sometimes that does happen, but if that piece of roofing material lands in the backyard, which has a layer of loam and mulch hay over it, it's simply a matter of picking it up. I mean, I'm not sure that we're really doing anything that's altering or creating any kind of especially once we hit the colder weather when the ground is
Well, if there's
frozen.
2 feet of snow and stuff falls in the snow, and, the fees are meant to really encourage people to complete their projects within the seasonal, inside where there are no seasonal restrictions.
I understand.
And if there's a project, the fees are negotiable. If there's a period of time that you think you can finish things up and be out of there, then we can come up with a fee schedule that is not quite as onerous as $200 a day.
Another component of your bylaws and regulations that I think is a little bit contradictory is your section 9.4 on seasonal restrictions. Talks about work within a resource area shall be performed during low-flow months of the year, whenever practical. And to me, that screams
Summer.
September, October, November, December, when you have, like, very little ground movement.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I do all
It's funny, I look at you.
Mike Crow's Foundation Society work. I have for 15 years. I did all the erosion control up there. And Mike discussed this in detail with me. And I'm used to doing order of conditions in a lot of towns. What they do is they prohibit any ground engagements from November 15th. But the date varies till April 1st. So what I said to Mike was, if we got the foundation in and we stabilized it and we blew mulch hay on it, right? You could dump the lumber in the front, you could not dump it, but place the lumber in the front yard and just walk around the foundation. The fee schedule in the winter of $200 a day is crazy because you get frozen out, you get wind days, you get days you can't even work. If you came up with some type of number like $500 or something, obviously no one's gonna go in the wetlands, no one's gonna go past the hay bale, and so on this particular job, I buried the silt fence with a little mini excavator, and then I put the hay bales on the upland side with double stakes on the non-wetland side. It's just at $200 a day, you can't pay that. We're not asking for any ground engagement, we're not gonna touch the ground, we're gonna walk on the ground. And he is, smart enough to not, no lumber trucks are gonna go out back or anything. So I think Mike would be willing to pay some amount of money if it could be reasonable,
How about a proposed construction schedule and come up with a negotiated fee?
I'm trying to be consistent with the rules, and I'm really trying to just follow what the bylaws say. And the bylaws actually say no work. It doesn't say, no groundwork, no construction work. I understand,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm just reading it and interpreting it. It says no work within the resource area. If his foundation is inside the resource area, next to it is, just like your property, he would have to do the work outside the resource area to be in compliance with that.
However, I've been in other cases over the last 3 or 4 years. If the building was framed,
Okay, but I wasn't
yeah, you were.
I wasn't the chairman then.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that I'm trying to apply the
Okay.
rules.
Yeah, and don't think, I'm no expert at all. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you.
I'm
But
just reading it and trying to apply it fairly to everybody.
What I've been told is if the building was framed, you can do plumbing, electric, heat.
Sure,
insulation
interior, no problem.
From the inside.
No problem,
So,
interior.
The catch-22 here is, he wants to frame, I think he's willing to pay X amount of money. And nothing, I know exactly what you're saying, you know, the frame, the roof guys, nothing's gonna go in there. If it is, he'll walk in there and get it. He's just looking for a reasonable number.
So for.
$200 a day for 4 months, is a lot of money.
Well, it's.
Framing a house for
meant
4 months
to
is a lot of money, too.
discourage-
But, and I understand, listen, we're
To
not.
discourage it,
We're
that's-
not asking to put a culvert in, we're not asking to work in the wetlands with equipment.
Sure.
In other towns, the word is ground engagement. There's gonna be no ground engagement. And Mike has asked me, would you mulch the whole thing, Larry, with your hay blower? And I said, of course I would. Upland of
So,
erosion
and
control.
it's not related to this one directly, but they're aware I'm also building on Center Street right now. And
But Center Street, we're gonna go like hell and get it done.
But the problem with the seasonal restriction, just to understand what I'm having to deal with, the April 15th, and I waited, we got started, and I couldn't do anything there until July, because it was so wet in April, May, and June, and July. And he did the work. To dig a stump out of that was like a swamp, because it just kept raining, and it kept getting, and so I just last month got the foundation in, and I'm gonna get to that point where I'm gonna comply, where my house will be framed. And again, a piece of it is in the buffer zone, most of it is not. I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna get it back, the backyard graded and loomed, and probably even seeded before the end of October, so that whatever I do after that is on the inside of a completed house, and most of it's outside the buffer zone. But the seasonal restriction there, by calling it a low-flow month, was actually quite the opposite, because April and May and June is very often here much wetter. And so the reverse could have been true, that it would have been easier to do some of this work last fall. So I'm just trying to get a balance to be able, because
So
3
why
months
don't-
isn't much to be able to build a house when you lose the first 3 months of your seasonal non-restriction.
Why don't you do like was suggested and give us a timeline of when you think you're going to be working, and then a reasonable fee schedule, and then we can vote on it. Because it's more
Yeah,
than just me.
keep in mind,
it's
we haven't even
everybody.
granted a waiver at this point, right?
Correct.
So, first things first, but let's get a tentative schedule, and then,
Yeah, typically, we would ask for the number of days that they're gonna work within the, buffer zone, what kind of work is gonna be done.
So,
So-
once the building is framed and roofed, and you're inside.
you're
it's
inside,
not-
you're inside.
It's not applicable.
Yeah, it's like a
So-
little,
In the best scenario, because I have a
No, but
pretty
we
quick,
don't wanna hear it now. We want it in writing. We want it in writing.
take some
A
time
request
to work it
us.
out.
yeah, I understand, but there's
Okay.
an extreme time-sensitive thing here, since it's September 13th, and I've got 6 weeks.
We'll make our decision in October.
Well, that's my point, is that.
We can't make a decision tonight unless you want a negative decision. I'm sure
You
we're not
can't
gonna
take a
go with
verbal, you can't take a verbal proposal
No,
that's
I don't
put in
think so.
writing after the fact?
I wouldn't.
A lot of bad relationships have happened with verbal
Right.
Well,
agreements.
this is being recorded, it's on record.
Again, our practice is that a waiver comes in a written request, and negotiation, and particularly in this case where you're asking for a waiver, plus it's going to be, waiving some of our fees, I think it would only be fair to get it in writing.
is it reasonable to discuss what that fee might be at this
Well,
point?
you know what the fee is, $200 a day.
We don't know how many days you're looking at.
Yeah, we don't know if you're looking at 2 weeks or 8 months.
Well, obviously, I mean, at the point that I have the ability, the house can probably, in the best-case scenario, get framed in 6 or 7 days. Roof, windows can go, I mean, there's certain things that I can condense, I mean, is it the number of days or the length of the
It
number of
really-
days to work?
And we've been burned on the number of days to work also, so it's really start to finish, right?
Yeah.
Because there've been times when people
So-
have dragged that on for.
But if you don't work on a particular day and you can document that, then we'll
Because it
take
rained
that
for
out.
3
Yeah,
days or
right,
something.
exactly.
So realistically, I think that I can meet that requirement, and obviously, because I don't always have everything lined up as carefully, but I could do that, that 3 weeks is a reasonable period that I could achieve framing and getting roof, windows, and siding on the house in a 3-week period.
So we'd need to go out and check it out if there's a rain event or anything.
Yeah, I mean, we
a
can-
Couple
Well,
times.
I can be in
Rosemary,
touch with
I think.
Rosemary and let her
And is
know,
it-
I mean,
The whole framing, or is it the work that's within that, even in the buffer?
Well,
So-
I
You
can't build the
I don't
house in
see him- I don't
pieces.
see him
Well,
doing a
yeah,
corner.
exactly.
It would behoove him to start in one corner and.
Right,
the other
finish
way,
finish
so-
that corner. Put that window in first.
right, I mean, the reality is, you can see, less than a third or less of the house is within the buffer zone. 2/3 is not.
Yep.
So, I mean, I guess
No,
I could use that in factoring my decision of what the fee might be, as opposed to the length of time, because I can't build the garage first and say, okay, I'm good to go on the garage, and so on
Yeah,
and so
so you
forth.
could propose a third of the fee, a third of the daily fee, because only a third of the, you know, I'm saying just theoretically.
Or something less.
Yeah,
in theory.
well, yeah, whatever.
Or something less, sure.
You know, but-
Aim low, aim low.
But based on a realistic, you know, estimate of what it would take to frame the house.
Right,
Okay. But, I think realistically, 3 weeks, if these guys worked Saturday, is that a day I include, I'm just looking at the
Work
the
days.
Work, yeah,
work days.
how many work days? We don't care what days they are.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if it's 15 days or 3
15.
weeks, if it says it takes me 3 weeks, it's 15 work, okay.
Have we done a site walk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
How do we feel about?
The erosion control is in place.
Does it look like a tough site?
It is
Well,
because there's a slope there.
yeah, it
That's-
slopes
That's
down,
the,
you know.
what makes it difficult. It's not flat.
Yeah.
But the other side of what I would consider not to be a tough site is that Wood Street is quite high. There's nothing that funnels anywhere near this lot. The only directional is the back of the house, which will be a walkout, is, one level lower than the front. But my working and staging and lumber is up in the front where it's
Out of the
completely
way,
flat.
Completely other way.
And by putting in some erosion
Yep.
control there and there, I'm just protecting the downhill portion. And everything coming in or out is going to be coming in and out of a non-buffer zone area on fairly easy ground that even if it rained, isn't going to generate any real runoff, of which there's also really none from the street or any neighbors, or there's just nothing funneling to this site. So it's actually, compared to what I'm doing on Center Street, is extremely dry, because that's quite a damp spot.
Good to hear.
All right, so I think you'll find us more or less
Okay.
mostly cooperative,
Okay.
willing to negotiate on the fees, and just, we've asked for an estimate.
Yep,
and
I will do that.
The faster you get that from us, the more goodwill you generate, right?
yes.
Yes,
We just want to work with people and move on to the next thing.
yep,
So,
okay. We're good.
So on 352 Center Street, you think you're gonna get that all done? You're not gonna need a waiver on that one?
That's my intention.
That's good.
Cool.
cool.
Because I hope to sell it in February. I hope, which means to sell it, I have to
Get ready to sell.
have done the stuff in the
Yeah.
back. And the back is graded now. All I have to do is dig a well trench from the well to the house and put in one Caltech system for a roof drain, You know, that's the old, and then a piece of the driveway. So, and again, because I'm gonna be in the winter, I wanna get the driveway paved anyway. May only be binder, I probably will bind it. So I could sell it in the winter with some limited
With a-
landscaping come
right,
springtime, so.
Right.
You're not
All right.
making money if you're not selling, so, yeah.
Right, well, will have owned it over a year at that point, so. I
right.
don't wanna be into another
No.
wet spring season, so.
Thank you for coming in
Thank you.
We've essentially agreed to come up with a work schedule, propose.
Yes,
and a fee
Yeah.
schedule.
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
Meet you guys again.
We'll see you next month.
October,
13th? No,
you don't need a
13th,
formal
11th.
request to be on the agenda, because I know we didn't do
No,
it.
we'll put it
here,
on
just
the
for-
agenda,
Put it on.
Okay.
October 11th.
All
So
right.
get us that in writing.
What time's your meeting start?
7 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. 'Cause I thought you told me
That's the
7:30, but I
Oh,
wasn't
sorry
near,
about
but
that.
I wasn't near the beginning of the agenda anyway, so that was
Well,
fine.
Jay was here first.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'd like to ask 20 Cranton Ave to come up. Hello there.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Jim Scanlon. I'm here on behalf of Michael Sidlow of 20 Cranton Ave. We're here as part of a septic system upgrade. Let's see. Property is located at the end of Cranton Ave. It's a 5-bedroom dwelling, shown here in brown. It has a septic system that is in trouble. So we're proposing a new septic system, an upgrade, consisting of potentially a septic tank, a pump chamber, and a leaching field. There are wetlands on the property indicated, or the resources indicated in the green. Part of them are bordering vegetated wetlands as well as top of bank. There is an intermittent stream in the back of the property. Again, the existing system is shown here in, I guess, red. Consists of a septic tank, which we're hoping to reuse, and it has leach pits in this area. So we're basically replacing that system and keeping it as far away from the resource area as we can.
This is a good thing, right?
Do you have your green cards that you
I do.
sent out? Okay.
I do.
What's the closest point to the
60 feet.
60 feet?
Yeah, this is the 50-foot setback line and the 100-foot. All work is greater than 50.
Yeah.
The only things that are in the buffer zone are if we have to put in 2 new tanks, those would be in the buffer zone, as well as a portion of the field, basically from right here this way, and some grading.
But you pushed a significant portion of the field out of the 100
Yes.
foot,
As much as we could, yes.
close to the street as you could get it,
Correct.
because you had setbacks there too, right?
Right.
Yeah. Kind of squeezed, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. His system's in failure.
It's not an official failure, but it,
It's on
they're
its
not
way.
sailing, but it's.
Yeah, we know what's going, so
Yeah.
we're just trying to get ahead of it.
Proactive.
What's the timetable on this?
ASAP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
As I can.
before
Yeah,
November
I got-
1st?
I've handed
Yeah,
out
we-
prints of contractors, and I got one coming back with a price, so,
And then get it done in 6 weeks?
he said a week.
But I mean, like,
Within 6 weeks.
yeah, within 6 weeks.
That's their thing, is how far out they are, and I gotta ask, what they are.
Yeah,
I don't see how we could possibly relocate the box to anywhere else.
no. And we can't just let you sit.
No, yeah, I mean, you have to do this. It's not a matter of choice. We just want to make sure that, the erosion controls are in there and that.
And they're drawn out,
Right here in the
the
red,
orange.
right
Yeah.
here.
Cool, can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, that's, we went through it before with the addition, so.
Yep.
So you heard the previous argument about the seasonal restriction, so
And that
Just-
begins
November 1st.
November
So we
1st.
want to make sure we do everything we can to help you get that thing done before that date. So, we've got to write up the permit. We'll try to get that done tomorrow.
Okay.
Rosemary can write that up, and then it's just a matter of getting the signatures. in theory, we should be able to have that permit for you next Tuesday, if all goes according to our plan.
Oh, we got health board next week.
Okay, so you
Second health
still
board,
have to get.
yes. Second health board
You have to
meeting.
get them, so that'll fall within your.
Right.
Good.
Is there a 10-day appeal?
Yeah.
With the local?
Well,
I mean, this is only a Groveland filing, but,
it isn't quite the same, because
Okay.
in order to appeal it, you have to take it to Superior Court.
Right.
So it's like hardly anyone ever challenges it.
Well, and who would do that?
No,
Are there-
for this kind of.
Is there
Is there
anyone
anybody
here
here?
on this?
No, I mean, for 20 Cranton.
We're wondering about a butters, if anybody,
We're on the opposite, we're on the 18 Street, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You good?
we got a notice.
okay.
You're good with this?
But you're not here to protest them?
Okay.
Okay.
Just no sign.
Because they'll be using your systems if theirs fail.
Well, seeing the sewer didn't go in.
Can I move?
Yes, you
Are
can.
we done with discussion?
Well, we can have.
Well, we can always have discussion after the
you-
motion.
Okay, I move to allow the repair to the septic system at 20 Cranston Avenue as indicated in the plan with the proper bailing around the outside edge as indicated on his plan.
Second, except it's
Oh,
Cranton,
and
not
close the
Cranston.
hearing at,
Oh.
throw that in there.
And I close the hearing, or move to
At-
close the hearing. At 8:06.
And did you second it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions?
thank you very much.
All right.
Oh, is that
Thank
somebody's
you.
phone?
Oh, is that Jay?
I think it was Jay's.
He'll be back.
I'll go see if he's
He'll be
on.
back.
He'll realize that he left it. Yeah, because Jay was sitting right there.
Will we be seeing you, the board out?
Yes, on Thursday.
Is it this Thursday we're meeting, or next Thursday? All right, see you then. All right.
So we just gotta make sure we do those signatures, that people come in and sign that thing on Monday.
If you've got
Give
it,
those to
Right.
Rosemary for the file.
are you gonna have it Friday, do you think?
Thank you.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Okay. 'cause
Rosemary will
I'm-
she'll send a
Okay.
notice out.
Yeah.
Usually we just leave it.
7
in the
Pino?
office.
Come on up. Come on
Yeah, we're
down.
running out of,
I'm all by myself, too. I should have brought somebody.
No butters?
No, that's a good thing. Some of my neighbors threatened if I didn't give them beer, that they were gonna come.
I'll
well,
take your
the
green
the
cards.
commission can make the same threat.
Yes, that's okay. You guys let me know what type you like. These are the ones I got back.
I could
You
probably
you
lost
want the
against that,
receipts
right?
if I sent, or do you
Okay.
want?
Yes,
both.
both.
Yep.
Yeah, you can have all my packets.
Great, thank you.
There you go.
Thanks.
Okay, so I move to open the meeting for 7 Pino Ave for the GNOI at 8:05.
Second.
Okay.
John
those in
wasn't even
favor?
here. John wasn't even here. It's no competition.
Okay. What do you,
I'm Michelle Caruso. I have this crazy idea that I'd like to put a pool in, so I'm here.
You
okay.
know, winter's coming, right?
Yeah.
I know,
Okay.
I know. Yeah, I thought I could actually
you
get a
catch
permit
it?
a little quicker than this, so, you know.
Was he
I'm
still out
learning.
there?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, cool.
I figured they were.
I have just some pictures. I mean, this is a regular.
Oh, yeah, that's
what I want it
true.
to look
That's
like,
true,
so-
they do.
Without the outside kitchen right now, because I probably can't
It
financially
happened to be
afford
today
it, but
at
at
the
some point I
office.
might like
I
to
was,
have
I left my phone at the
it.
office.
kidney shape?
Under papers. I
It,
drove like 20
well,
minutes
it is,
to
but
drive
this is
to
the actual,
Longmont.
this is the
Oh,
actual
it's
real
like,
shape. It's
Oh,
Mountain Lake,
okay, we
so
went.
that's the shape I'm thinking.
Cool.
This is a little bit bigger of where my house is. I enlarged it a little bit, and let me make sure I'm getting this straight. Okay, this is my backyard, so there's a window right here of my house, and I'm trying to set the pool so that the middle of the steps are about 18 feet out from there. Trying to tuck it as close into here as possible. It's where the sun really
Are
hits.
you down the end?
I'm not the end, yeah, I'm the cream-colored one on Pino. I have this, but it's
I
not.
haven't been there in probably 10 years. but-
This is me. It's not a good one because that's all Google Earth can give me, even if I change the, and this is you probably have a bigger one than I do.
Oh, you got some nice woods there.
Yeah, it's beautiful, actually. It's really nice.
This is the as-built for the whole development. This is her
Nice.
lot here,
I've
her
got a
house.
Great lot.
And so she's talking
I want
about,
to tuck it right in.
and the 100-foot buffer is, yes, yes.
Goes
So
through my
it's-
garage, yeah.
You know, it's
Right through your garage.
gonna be
It does.
partially.
Yeah, just this,
100%
some of it,
buffer.
Do you have it
it's-
actually
I have dimensions,
delineated?
yeah, I've
No, no, dimensions we don't care about. Do you have the 100-foot buffer
Mark.
indicated on on the actual dimensions of the pool? Or
Yeah,
no?
where the pool's gonna go staked out, like how far?
Yeah, I mean, I had it staked out and I had to move some of the stakes, so it does not come out past my garage at all. So it would, the window's here, and I would come out 18 feet from here, and then it does not come past the garage. You wouldn't be able to see it when you pull into my driveway. So it won't pass that
So
at
it's
all.
in this section?
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
tucked in there. Does that help? I know it's not very accurate now that I'm saying that. I have some
Well,
Well,
measurements.
no, it's
So-
inside the 100-foot line,
In
though.
theory,
Which is
in
why-
theory, it isn't gonna go any further than the edge of your house.
No, I don't
But
want
we're
to see.
showing,
But
this is the 100-foot, right?
I think that's 100 foot though. I think.
Right
Yeah, it
here.
is
Yes.
still within the
I
100
think
foot.
that
What I mean is, for us as a reference point, when we go look at it.
Oh, okay.
I think a
Here,
few
this might help.
feet. I drew and put some measurements
might
when I
help
had
you.
someone.
Yeah. Yeah. But for a few extra feet.
It's all in the 100.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
right. it's
I'd
not-
move it more towards that way if I could. I can't. My deck's there. So if you look at this,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
an
so
actual.
You don't wanna
can't
move the deck?
really-
Well, I want to maybe put Trex on it, but that's actually, if you look, that's actually a rendition of my house. So there's a window right there, my steps come down. So this is not as accurate because I want to bring it to here, closer. I can't get it any closer because of the decks there.
And when do you want to do this?
Tomorrow.
But after that,
I wanted to get it in the ground before the season, but then I keep hearing this November 1st.
Do you have anybody
Yeah.
lined up?
Yeah, actually, I had to actually push him off because when I met with Sam to begin with, he said if it was, I met with him, I think, the beginning of August. He's like, oh yeah, I'll have a permit in 10 minutes unless conservation needs to weigh in. And then I got the call. Not that
So-
you seem like a very nice group of people, but he's like, conservation needs to weigh in.
So
So
could you get it done in 6 weeks?
I'd have to double check with the contractors.
right.
I would think, I think so. I mean, they install pretty quick.
Yeah, right, plus
The
this time
pool,
it's
the
slower.
pool would be in, does that count my hardscaping? Would I have to have my patio down as well?
No, you can put it off.
Okay.
It's just that we
yeah,
don't
you don't
want.
have to
do I
finish
have
the
to s- I have
complete
to stop?
project. You just
Right.
have to
Oh,
stop,
that would be fine.
stop and
Yeah.
stabilize.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Stabilize is important, because just stopping and leaving.
And I'm not even opposed to getting the
It'd be nice
pool
to
in,
know
and then if my hardscaper says to
actually
let
how
it
far
sit
is
till
it,
spring, let it
75?
sit, because I've
There's
done
a school
multiple.
of thought that says that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
multiple commercial projects. I own a
Into it,
veterinary
how
hospital,
far
and I've
into
let
it?
my
'Cause it-
parking lot sit,
with the
and
angle,
I was a very
then
happy
the-
girl. I let that sit for a season before I put my top coat
Yeah,
on.
I've seen a lot of big patches.
I mean, if my hardscaper, if he says that it's compact and it's good and I can
Is
get
this
it in before
50?
November 1st, but I wouldn't have a problem
That's the-
stopping at
that's
November
the
1st and
wetlands, so
picking
this
up in
is
the spring,
100 feet
whenever you said I could.
there.
April
Oh,
15th.
okay.
April
You're not
15th.
using the pool in the winter?
That's probably, I'd say,
It's
not heated.
I'd like it to be
Yeah.
heated. I don't know if that's a concern too, no.
Heated to 101.
Yeah.
Where's your hospital?
Tewksbury.
Tewksbury. okay.
Yeah, I actually did a special permit there, and I built my hospital, remodeled it. It took me 2 years to get permitted. It's a long process.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, if I never did that before when I walked in, I might have been scared of you guys and walked back out, but I sat in a lot of different meetings.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah,
Fence,
my
right.
fence, yeah, my fence I want to put up so that it, I kind of just marked it. I talked with the gentleman that does plowing for me and made sure that snow removal would be okay if I put the fence there and just went around and put it towards the edge of the property.
So I would say, Rosemary, you think if we put erosion, have her put erosion controls, along the tree line here.
Mhm.
and
Do you have to have the fence up as
circle
soon
it.
as the pool's up? Is it like a danger?
I think you
What-
probably do.
What are the pool,
yeah.
I don't know what
think
the pool
you-
regulations
Yeah,
are,
I think you
but
need to have at least a 4-foot fence around the
I think,
pool.
yeah, I think,
as soon as it's in there,
Right, yeah.
because
'Cause
things
then it
can
becomes
happen
a
as soon as it's
hazard,
in there.
right.
I think you have to, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
from what I know.
So that would be part of the project.
Yeah, I mean, my insurance company mandates mass law.
Yes,
you
they
have to have-
might.
Yeah, no, I talked with my insurance company before I started this process to make sure that it was okay for me to have a pool, and could I have it, and what would it do to my homeowner's policy, and they said, nope, you're fine, you just have to have a fence, and they'll inspect it as well, which obviously for safety reasons and concerns, you want a fence.
Did I miss discussion about erosion control around this while the work is done?
I
was just talking about
Around the
suggest-
tree line.
And you
I
guys
suggest
do
that
know I'm-
erosion controls, something like this.
Right along where the
Right
fence is,
along with the
2 feet beyond the fence or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, the tree
What kind of
line
fence is
is,
gonna be?
the tree line is
I want to
there.
do the traditional, like, black-looking vinyl, not vinyl, excuse me,
Traditional
wrought
vinyl,
iron.
yeah.
Wrought iron, sorry, wrought iron, so that doesn't look, so I'd like it to be as, not as noticeable, like as transparent as possible, so.
So
not-
like 6 inches between the,
Whatever code is.
That's
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, I would go with whatever code is, the black wrought iron.
razor wire.
There could be some spikes on
We're
top. There
big
may be
fans
some
of razor
heads, but I
wire.
don't know if that's okay with conservation. I forgot this is being recorded, I should behave.
Well, if it's people, it's okay.
It's been a long day.
Turtles we'd object.
No, turtles, no, I'm a veterinarian, I cannot harm turtles, I'd be in trouble for that.
So the erosion controls, Julie, would be along the tree line, curved up towards the house, and curved up towards, at the back of the property. And our standard hay bales or wattles.
Wattles, see?
Hay bales are what, I'm sorry?
Wattles.
The
Like a
cheaper,
silt
they're
sack,
like
yeah.
a round
They renamed them.
stuffed
Like straw
straw.
and a sock.
It's straw, it's about this big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so erosion controls around tree line, curved up along up to house, and then where?
And curved up in the rear of the yard.
Is that our copy?
Yeah.
You want to just draw on it and,
Yeah.
Well, as long as it says it in the minutes, and we've got this, I can
The
we
wattle's
can
cheaper.
describe it in the permit.
Yeah, this is not an inexpensive project.
No.
So, just another note, when we went out and looked at the property, we noticed that the referenced markers were never put in.
I can actually tell you the real story of that if you want to
Oh,
know.
okay.
oh, we
Tell
like real
us, tell us.
stories.
There's one here, it's here, and it's in the woods line, you
Oh,
can't see
really?
it. So there's one in the driveway, it's there. I occasionally hit my head on it when I'm weeding and doing stuff there. So there's one there. There was one back here. I heard it had an accident with a sledgehammer. And I can show you where the mark is for it. I know where it is.
Really? Like, these things are supposed to be like 4 feet high?
It was, and
Somebody-
someone took it down.
Previous owner, I would presume.
Yes, most
Okay.
definitely, yes. I'm not strong enough to do that. I live there by myself.
Yeah, you
No,
probably are.
seriously. No, I kind of am. No, yes, actually, it was.
Granite
it was-
breaks pretty
It was
easily.
knocked down. I know, my father-in-law hit my, my mailbox, and we had to replace that.
Yeah.
No, no, it was actually removed before I purchased the
Yeah,
property.
yeah.
It's still there, you can see it. It's in the point of my yard. It lives about there.
Okay. Well, the fact that regardless whether or not we could find them, you came and applied, something is still working correctly, so I don't think we have to do
Yeah, and then the
anything
other one,
about
That was
it.
the
the other one's
building.
still there, and it's got the little plaque on it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's there.
Yeah.
It's in the woods. It's
Yeah.
just, it's behind one of my flower beds.
Okay, it's well hidden.
It is.
Good.
I let the trees grow in.
So I don't think that that's an issue.
Good, I didn't want it to go back.
Hopefully the previous owner-
Jeff and I actually moved one of those, remember the one on?
Yeah, right, I know.
That
I don't want
was
to get the
a
previous owner in trouble.
bear.
I heard he was a nice guy, so I don't want to get the previous owner in trouble, but it did
Well,
disappear.
he had no reason.
I'm not saying he did it, I just heard it had an
Somebody-
accident.
whoever it
Before I
was-
purchased it.
Anger issues.
I've been there about I think 3 years maybe.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the pool with the aforementioned erosion controls.
And will that be the mark? So-
Provided it is completed?
Well, yes, the normal, we don't have to reference the thing in our, we put that in every permit, so.
So November 1st, whatever's
Yeah,
done,
right.
done, they stop, close it up,
Yes.
and then I start again April 15th.
Yes.
I'd
Uh,
rather do that and let it sit. I think that would make more sense, just for,
Second?
And close the hearing at 8:20.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
great, thank you.
Unanimous.
Oh, you guys are way nicer and easier than Tewksbury, way nicer. Is it gonna be marked for me so that I exactly know where to put them? The
Well,
erosion
what
control?
we'll do is,
Just so
we'll
my
try to
landscape
get
doesn't-
Do you want to,
your
do you want to, do you want to
permit.
indicate on that map? I'll make a copy of
Or
it.
I have one, or maybe mark this one, just so I know. Actually, this is,
What?
no, this is blown up too much. It doesn't have the tree line,
Oh,
does
okay.
it? Well,
Yep, that's
it
the
does.
tree line right there.
Yeah, so if it, just mark it, or just so I know, so I can give it to the
You
landscape.
gonna make a copy, Terry? I can run out.
Thank you.
What we'll do.
I love this part.
Is we'll try to get your permit done, since we got a rush on the other previous permit. Because it's always, the most difficult thing is getting signatures. So Rosemary can probably write these both up tomorrow,
Okay.
and then we might have it for you early next week.
Okay, so I'll
So
reach
that
out
way
to the
there you
contractors and tell
can
them,
proceed.
you guys want
Yeah. It-
either before November
I
1st
mean, they're
or-
gonna say, you know, if you got all the permits, you can say yes.
I did not pull plumbing or electrical. Which one can I pull? Which one can't I do? Because they said I was required, my contractors, to pull all the permits, but does an electrician have to pull their own, or plumber?
I think
Do
they
you know?
do, actually.
They usually do.
Heating.
Right?
Who's the contractor?
Me.
You.
No, I have a pool
If
guy
you're the
and I have a.
contractor,
I-
you pull it.
Yeah, all I
Yeah.
have is a pool guy and a
Sam would-
hardscaper.
Sam would tell you.
The
their
building inspector
He's gonna
will
tell you
Alright.
what you
tell you
need.
exactly what you need to
He's really
do.
good. He's good
Yeah.
at email too. I mean,
Okay.
if he
Yep.
responds even on weekends,
Alright.
I'll call
Yep.
him.
I'll shoot him an email, because
Yeah.
I can't remember, I think that one of them, you
Yeah,
can't,
so
I,
you can put
maybe it's the
those in
plumber that you
file.
can't pull. I think a licensed plumber has to pull their own, if I
That makes
remember.
sense.
I think it is. I think you can pull an
Because
electrical.
electricity can't hurt you.
No,
But does that
but a
sound
homeowner
crazy?
can
But a
pull it.
homeowner can pull electrical, but I
Yeah.
don't think a homeowner can pull plumbing, if I remember right. So.
Jeez, I think
Usually you pull them.
that was like 15 years ago. Maybe it's,
Same.
maybe
Yeah,
things
you
have
can't-
changed.
You
Same
can't
for
do
a different
plumbing
thing.
because of gas.
That's what it is, right?
Yep.
So
That's why
plumber
you
will have to
can't
pull
pull a
his
plumbing
own.
permit.
I mean, my
She
heart.
knows
Just because,
everything.
well, what if there's no gas involved?
Yeah, no,
I
I'm gonna have.
still think it's the way
gas.
it's
Yeah.
worded, you can't
You
do,
gotta heat-
you
I'm
can't
gonna
do
heat
plumbing,
it.
you can do electrical, you can do.
84 is a good
you know,
temperature for outdoors. Anything
Contracting,
less,
woods,
bagels
you
too
can't.
cold, just to let you know.
84, you know. Sounds
I got
sounds
a
like you.
coworker has like his whole backyard is a pool.
Really? 84,
He
great.
says like 80 is too cold.
Yeah,
but
I'm one of
84
those
is like-
people that like, I don't wanna go in the water unless I'm in the Caribbean.
Right, that's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna need a second job probably to
Yeah.
heat my pool, so.
84 will feel like police.
So then I guess my next step is wait for you guys and go to Sam to pull other permits?
Yep.
Correct.
You can go see him
Okay.
and tell him we've already approved it, you're just waiting.
Okay, great.
He'll be there, he's there tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Thursday.
Thursday.
What are
Thursday.
his hours tomorrow?
I don't know, but I can look on the door.
No,
I'm
I'll
pretty
walk
sure
down
he's
there.
here in the morning. I think it's like 8 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
If not, you said I could email him too.
Email us, he's really good.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. Thank you so much.
All
All
You
right.
guys are done, you get to go home?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No? You're like, get out of here.
But believe me, we will be pushing it.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
There'll be a motion
Tuesday and
soon.
Thursday, 8 to 12.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah,
12.
and Monday, he's here at night.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Invite you guys over when the pool's done.
Off the record.
So on number 7, the fairways, they had a presentation, I believe, that they wanted, they're not here. No, so they have no presentation. This is the letter we sent, similar to the Larry one that we sent regarding, you have a timeline to
Mhm.
comply. Okay, so I'd like to
Ooh.
let everybody read that first.
Can we move to continue it until next?
Yeah, I think we pretty much have to,
Okay.
don't we?
I want everybody to read it.
No,
Yep.
I mean, whatever, in terms of the
Send
vote.
it down.
I'm done. I've seen more than I need to see.
Okay.
All right.
Move to continue the meeting to October.
No,
Ah, third.
we're not.
You only got a couple more things to do. Oh, that's right. Jonathan's point, continue. We can do that while we're waiting.
He's adding.
So I'd like to make a motion to continue the hearing on Johnson's Pond notice of intent for weed removal and docking to our October meeting on
The 13th,
October 11th.
11th. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So with this letter, we told him that if we didn't hear from him at this meeting, because he said he was going to come in and present an idea he had, that we would possibly institute fines beginning on September 1st. He still hasn't complied.
Oh, but I thought he sent us a letter.
He didn't send a letter, he just sent in that,
He sent in an email to her.
right, and he also sent that little form, remember the plan?
Yeah, so.
And I responded, and did you send it to him, or? Basically, I told her to tell him that it would be in his best interest to come to the meeting.
Okay. I thought we got a written letter from him. We didn't get a written letter from him, we just got an email
I
response.
think it was an email. And she just forwarded it to me and said, this is what he said,
Yeah.
and I'm not
Well, we can
gonna.
still, we can talk about what he's proposing.
Oh, we're waiting. Can I ask a question?
Hmm.
On the screen, it's showing that we're muted. I don't know if we actually are muted, but it's showing on the screen that we're muted. Do you
I
see the
think
little-
that's so that it
No, that's
doesn't
the
play,
TV.
Oh, okay. I just want,
because you would hear feedback.
I just wasn't sure, since we're all concerned about that.
They'd be calling up Jordan now. They'd be going, I can't hear a thing they're saying.
Turn up your hear.
Yep.
Did everybody read the minutes? We can approve them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
July 12th meeting. You want to pass those down? July 28th.
Terry wasn't here, so.
No, I'm
You
gonna be
were-
abstaining no matter what, but I'll proof them for spelling.
No, I had spelling. There's a very good drawer on the chalkboard, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Look at that. You can totally see what the
Perspective
shadows
and
are.
shading.
Oh, yeah. It's all slices of cones.
Did you see those?
I saw them, yes, but I don't understand.
What happens if we don't have enough voters? If people are abstaining?
I think,
These two?
Well, I'm only doing, I'm only gonna abstain
Okay.
for August, those are.
did we have two meetings? Oh, we had that
We had
off-site
the
meeting.
off-site,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So
Okay.
I move that we accept the minutes for, what's the first date?
July 12th.
July 12th meeting as submitted.
Second.
Discussion?
Any discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
It just takes one.
Any abstain? One. Okay, go to the next one.
I move that we accept the minutes for the July 28th,
Wait a sec, I was here for this one.
2017 meeting as
He says
submitted.
with surprise.
Seconded.
That was the outdoor one, that was the pool.
Any further discussion?
On the 28th?
All those in favor?
It says I was here, I
Aye.
motion to
Who
close
seconded
it.
it?
I did.
Oh, that one.
Did you just mix these up?
Two
Oh.
pages.
3 pages. Okay.
So we'll give them that.
Good motions.
And then the final one.
Pass that over to Julie. Do we vote on this one?
We
28th?
have not.
Yes.
No,
28th we did.
have not.
Oh, I thought we just did.
We thought we did.
We just did.
Did we?
We just did. We're on to the August now.
Oh,
Right.
Wait, what was the vote?
All in favor?
Oh,
You were there, so I put you down.
but I didn't vote. But I would have, so, okay, so
I
we'll go with
move
that.
that we accept the minutes from the August 9, 2017 meeting as presented.
Seconded.
Oh, shoot.
All those in
see.
favor? You
Aye.
wanna see
I
it?
don't think you were here for that one.
No,
You
no,
were?
I'm going to abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
All those in favor? No?
I wasn't there.
Okay.
Who was
Bill?
there?
Wasn't there.
That's okay.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
All the-
3
Abstain?
abstentions. 3 abstentions.
Okay.
Abstain.
Just so I know.
Move to adjourn.
No.
No. Nice try, though.
Table that.
9:13.
All right, let's
Okay.
read the email
It
from.
fails for lack of seconds.
Oh, very good. I wasn't there to
Did
second
you
my
send
own,
him an
I
email
couldn't second
back?
my own
Yes.
motion.
Okay, I'm waiting for
The
it to
irony,
print.
the irony.
So,
All right, everybody.
I sent him, he sent me that email, and it's printing out the plan that he has for where to put the markers. I sent him an email back and said, yes, you should present this at the next meeting, September 13th.
And obviously, he's not here.
That was it.
But he did send a plan.
He
So
did send a plan, so I'm waiting for it to print.
We can
And is it
talk
pretty
about-
much self-explanatory?
Correct.
We can
then-
talk about the.
Then his
plan.
presence or absence isn't really a,
So his plan is to have, the order of conditions call for 10 granite markers over 3 lots. His proposal is to put in 8 of the markers, the regular size markers, and 2 flush.
oh.
I think it was 2. Was
No,
it 2?
4.
4?
2 in
Six-
each one.
2
of
in
those.
each one? No, I thought it was, well,
We'll see.
So the question is do we want to go to flush markers?
No. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we can reject that.
it's
I
just,
don't.
It's just
Only
being very
because I
slow.
know from my property, if there was anything back there, I wouldn't see it. Because the grass would just grow right over it.
Right.
Well, except that there are going to be the regular
Right, so,
3-foot markers on the perimeters of the property.
just like that lady that was just here, if you sell the land and somebody new buys it, they're not gonna know where they are if they let the
It
grass
defeats the
grow or
purpose.
whatever.
It
No,
defeats
but
the
on.
It really
purpose.
does.
On,
I would rather move them, like we did on a similar property. We
well,
moved
then we
them.
would eliminate the ones in the middle altogether and just have them on the borders of the property.
Aren't we the
Similar-
ones that proposed the 3 per lot?
Yeah, we asked for 10 of them over 500-foot distance, one every 50 feet.
That sounds fairly reasonable to me.
Yeah, but they end up in the middle of the people's yards.
Oh,
We
so
don't
it's the
like
pla,
that.
it's the placement that they're objecting to.
Yes.
So,
yes, it's not the
so-
Can't we
number.
just
so the
move-
desire here is for a compromise where we have the same amount of security, but they're not quite so
Obtrusive.
obtrusive.
Yes. So that's why
I
the,
guess we need.
And
a
that's
plan.
reasonable,
the
a little reasonable.
flush ones are an interesting alternative that we've never really thought about before.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad
Yeah,
alternative.
if that
Well,
gets out,
I would be
we can
against
find out
flush
about that.
ones if that's all we're talking about, but it isn't. There's, one of the properties, there's gonna be one on either property line of the full-size one, and then 2 in the middle of the flush one.
Now, are there gonna be two, like, if there's a property, are there gonna be two, like, right next to each other, or?
No.
No.
No. You know, there's
Do we
supposed
have,
to be.
do we have the plan that we proposed?
No, I don't know, Rosemary had something, and hopefully she'll come back with something. But I don't like the idea of flush markers, except in a case like this. It gives us a reasonable alternative when there are the large normal markers, and these other ones kind of supplement, so that we know exactly where the line is.
But what's on the other side of these markers? That's my question, is
It's
why
a
are we...
100-foot buffer.
Right, but I'm just saying,
Right.
what's on the other side of the mark,
Grass.
in terms of if there's,
It's
is there
the
other
grass,
development
it's
other?
the yard.
So it's another neighbor's yard?
No, it's their yard.
Okay,
Their lawn goes into the 100-foot,
Correct.
okay, and we're looking to do this for 3 separate
and they don't want a
lots.
big
Yeah.
Have a
granite thing
post
sitting in the
in the
middle
middle.
of their lawn.
Right.
where their kid's gonna run
I
into
think
it.
only out of the 10 normal markers, 4 of them would end up being flush.
So I just have an issue with saying, oh, well, we can do this and this, because then we have people that come in and challenge us. Well, you did this with this people.
Well, why
and
not-
What are your,
All right, how about we have, they're trying
Yeah.
to replace one in the middle with a flush one. Why not replace it with 2 flush ones? Have tighter spacing, but less obtrusive.
I get concerned because then we're backpedaling the whole time, because somebody's gonna find out that they have a flush one, why can't I
Yeah,
have a
right, I
flush
want
one in my
one.
yard? And then we're gonna be figuring out, constantly trying to figure out, well, are we putting them at the corners of the property and letting them
But if
have
we're, if
their-
we're firm on the edges and just make it so there's more in between, then that's a compromise.
You're right, 4.
so the 4 highlighted are the ones that he wants to do flat?
Correct.
Okay. And he's lot 6 or 5 or all of them?
It's 3 lots.
Oh, all
It's
right.
the developer.
Oh, all right, I see.
Is the purpose of this so he could mow over as opposed to having to mow around?
No, they said there's, so their kids don't run into it.
So,
They said it's a hazard for the kids in the backyard.
So is every tree.
plant some
Ah,
shrubs around
okay,
it,
so there's
like the
already
other
2
girl
there.
did.
I don't like to change precedent, as in the previous discussion. But on the other hand, I think flush markers would give us another tool that we never really thought about before in cases where, such as this, where we really want to mark the property, but we don't want to have, it's hard to justify putting 2 or 3 of these
Huge.
quartz barriers, right in the middle of somebody's backyard. So
Which
we
is-
always try to avoid doing that.
Right.
And when we do that, we kind of sometimes have to fudge it a little bit.
So in the case of Stonebridge, we
Yes.
allowed him to move it to the edge, and we were okay with that,
Yes. But
outside of his fence. But we
Right.
didn't,
Correct.
we
we
didn't
could have
propose
had
a
him
flush
say,
mount.
put a flush mount in the middle of
Had he
his
put a flush
backyard.
mount, he could have mulched over it, and we wouldn't have been able
Well,
to see it.
yes,
I-
that's true, but
If we go this way, I think then you have to say, this is what we're gonna do in yards, because there's no way we can tell somebody, you're gonna have one in your middle of your yard and another person, no, you're
no,
okay.
going
So-
forward,
So it's gonna be all
forward.
flush, it's gonna be, it's always gonna be at corners of yards and flush in between. Because
Yes.
that would
Yeah.
have to be
Yes.
Yeah,
the
and that's-
full-on,
That may be, I mean, it's not an unreasonable way to do it.
So
No,
flush
it's not
mount is gonna be the
unreasonable, it's just-
exception
it
rather
has
than
to
the rule,
be-
but in each case where you're gonna do the exception, you have to prove your case for the exception rather than the rule.
So
Our
the
default is
default
always
is
gonna be
put
the
'em
tall
in.
ones.
Yeah.
But if you demonstrate that it's in some way grossly obtrusive,
Yes.
or in some case your child is gonna violently throw himself on this, then we will go with flush mounts.
Right, because, John, most of the time, when we're doing the placement of these things, they don't even know for sure where the house is going. And so we put them on the place, and inevitably, like when they're ready to almost sell the house, they come back and go, oh, we don't like it here, it's in the middle of the backyard, can we make a change, or whatever, A good example was Homestead. And what we did there, we didn't have this tool of a flush. We had to decide to put them on the far edges of the property, less than ideal marking. It's kind of, you don't really know where the 100-foot buffer is.
I'm not disputing it, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to be clear as to
No,
what,
no,
the way
I-
that we should be treating these going forward. I
No,
don't say that it's not a
I
bad
agree.
idea to have them,
I think what you're saying is true. We should always go with the full-size markers and let somebody come back and say, oh, this is too obtrusive in this spot, can we get a waiver and get a flush marker?
What are the specs on the flush
I was
marker?
gonna say, how
Like,
deep?
how flush is flush?
I think he has a thing there that says what he's proposing.
here?
5 inch
Looks
by
like he's
5
got
inch.
it, he's saying it's flush, it's literally flush, it's at ground level, there's nothing sticking up.
Nothing sticking up but not below. Approved plastic or metal rust-proof marker.
That would give us the plaque, right?
Yeah. 5, is that 5 inch?
Can't you do
by
a
5
stone one
inch?
that's flush?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
stone
5 by
with,
5 right now.
Yeah, what's wrong with,
Size.
like a piece of granite, maybe a little bit bigger than the, what are they, 6 inches by 6 inches? 8 inches by 8
yeah,
inches?
4 inches by 4 inches.
Really? That small?
Yeah.
But as long as you had it sunk into the ground so
Felt
you
like
can't
way
move it
lot more than
around,
that.
that's fine.
Maybe it's,
I
I
think they're
don't
6 by
remember
6.
what, it could be
I-
6 by 6.
No,
Jeff-
if there's
Jeff
a
and I-
septic underneath
Yeah, I think it
there,
is
or
6 by
pipe,
6.
or-
But if we specify
I mean,
like
like
a
how big
foot
is
by a
the
foot,
You're only going down like
Not
6
huge,
inches or
but-
8 inches.
Oh,
I
you're
think, aren't
talking
you?
about a bigger flat
a
marker.
granite,
like
a granite one,
a
like
full
maybe
post.
4 inches by a
Like
foot
you
by
said,
a
no,
foot.
But a septic is down deep.
I don't know.
Foot by foot's not huge.
Well, either you do that or, you know, make them put like a 2-foot deep marker in.
So he said,
What
he's
is
got
it?
going down
30
3 feet.
Yeah, he's got
Oh,
3 feet there.
He's going in
But I
3
don't-
feet with how much sticking up?
None.
Zero.
Flush, absolute flush.
And they're gonna put the sign on top of that?
Correct.
Yes, he says put the plaque right over.
And the
How low do
dimensions
you have
he's
to cut
saying,
your grass to see that?
Eventually it will
yeah, it's gonna,
Yeah.
disappear eventually.
yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea.
The kid will trip over it then. You can put it up.
Well, they could use it
Two
for like
inches.
first base or something too, you know?
Base you
Well,
don't have
I
to
mean,
slide into.
Why
right?
even put it there if
So
you're
we
just gonna
just-
cover it up?
Well,
Why not
Terry's-
just take it out?
Use
Terry's
whatever, right?
idea of doing a larger marker and not a 3-foot deep one. So, you know, say a square foot one that's
4 inches or
4
6
inches
inches.
deep or
I mean, there's standard, the granite people have
That can be
standard
picked up and moved.
paver things.
I think you'd have to go down at least a foot, because if you have any, even if it's
I
a
agree.
foot by a foot and you're 4
You're still gonna be able
inches,
to pick it up.
that's a rock.
I wonder
I've
if they
pulled
have
bigger ones
foot
out of mine.
cubes.
We want to be able to mow over it as well.
Right, but it's good, but that could be
We wanna
flush.
keep-
Would you like to
And-
draw up the dimensions for us?
No, I think.
Create a,
I don't
create
know
a
if
new
it-
marker?
I don't care if you do like a 6 by 6, it's fine, as long as you go down deep enough and it's not so
Right.
small that it's gonna get, the grass is gonna grow over it, or you're gonna limit the ability of grass to grow over it. So,
6 by 6, couple feet.
yeah, or even down at like,
'Cause I'm pretty
12 to
sure
18 inches is fine.
I have like Swenson's granite catalog at home.
I have them all over
they've
my
got,
yard.
they've got, huh?
I have them all over my yard. I mean, I have 3 posts in the mailbox that are all from Swenson's, yeah, and they
Yeah,
they
and
make
then, and
the
they'll
stuff.
have, they'll
They'll
have.
do whatever you want.
Yeah. But I think they have standard sizes also. There's
Yeah.
probably something that would be appropriate.
I
So
agree. Yeah.
I guess what we're saying is we're cautiously receptive to this idea, but we maybe want a little more time to think about it. Is this a hearing? Or a-
No.
No.
No,
Just a
it's
discussion.
Just discussion.
He
So-
owes us $800 on a seasonal restriction waiver that he never paid.
Okay, well, let's,
A certificate of compliance has not been issued on the property, so
he's
I
able to
would
sell these
say.
houses without a certificate
He
of
already did.
compliance?
He
And
already
law-
did. I don't know how.
What's
they
happened to
did that.
lawyers these days?
I don't know.
Nothing good. Listen to Shakespeare. He was right.
So I would suggest that we,
Get the money first?
no, I tell him we gotta have him come in here and we'll let him know what, we talked about it, but we're gonna come back with with a slightly alternative description
We're
of the
receptive,
markers.
we're listening, we understand the issue,
But we need him to
but
come
we're
back
not,
in.
we're not sure we want it to look exactly like this.
Yeah, right. And we need him to come in with the $800 check that he owes us.
How deep do the current markers go?
Oh,
They
they're
are,
like,
they go way down.
So.
2.5.
No, they're,
feet.
no,
3 feet,
these are
isn't it?
like 7 foot,
Oh, that's
I think
right.
it's 3
Yeah,
foot.
4 feet down.
they're 4 feet up and 3 feet down, I
Yeah, that's
think.
it.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, and they weigh about 7,000 pounds. Because my neighbor and I pulled one up and moved it for one of our clients as part of our general service.
So who's gonna come up with the description?
For what?
what we want these markers.
We don't
these
know.
Flush markers.
But let me
to
get,
be.
No, let's have them come in.
I'll
Yeah,
send you
but
guys,
if
I'll
Terry
send you
comes up
guys
with something-
Swenson's, link to Swenson's stuff, and that can give us an idea.
Why don't you just tell us what you think, and then we'll have a
Okay.
concrete, we'll have
Let's write
a.
that down.
Write it down on the thing.
A granite,
Flush,
concrete
Markers.
idea, granite idea of what it is
Marker.
that we should be.
specs.
They have-
Done.
They have 6x6 and they have 7x7s.
Move to adjourn.
No,
No,
Second, discussion?
no
want us-
seconds.
He did, he seconded it.
no.
I move
He
to
didn't know he was
table
I
it.
haven't had lunch.
Me neither.
We have
I had
a
lunch.
We're almost done.
Didn't have dinner.
150
No, I did have dinner.
150 Center Street, Mike, what is the issues?
Okay, let me
Discussion.
just check, I had something.
Wasn't he here?
Oh, yeah, the
No.
other thing we have to do, quickly talk about this.
352 is what
Open
he was.
garage.
Oh. The guy who was doing the
Seasonal restriction.
Wood Street one. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
And so on that last one, Rosemary will contact him and
Yep.
tell him we want him to come in with the $800
To the next
check.
meeting?
Yes.
I would list out in bullets what we need.
Okay, instead of
'Cause
doing
there's
it like
so
I
many.
did.
Who's the contractor on that?
He gave
It's,
you,
Instead of
Hazelton.
doing 1, 2, 3?
no, I just mean,
Oh,
he's got so many things, but, yeah,
okay.
All right. 150 Center Street.
you're fine.
About a year and a half ago, the police department requested the ability to build a firing range on the former busing property behind the town garage. I personally didn't think it was a good idea at the time. Contacted the police officer in charge that was charged with planning it and proceeding with it, to show me what he was talking about. I requested written plans, never got them. In the meantime, they went to the selectmen and requested the money to build it, and it was put on town meeting. At the 2016 town meeting, I amended their proposal to include the fact that they had to file with Natural Heritage because of the that whole area is covered under Natural Heritage turtle habitat for wood turtle. So they had to do that before they could proceed. So they did that. They did file with Natural Heritage about almost a year ago. And Natural Heritage okayed it and gave them a set of conditions, about 4 different conditions that they were supposed to meet. So that was fine. I'd been out there a few times in April, May. I took Rosemary out there to just look at the busing property. I think it was in June. And on August 6th, I got a phone call from a person who's on the open space committee that there was all kinds of work being done at the site. And it looked outrageous. So I met him out there the next day and looked at it, and to me, it also looked outrageous because it was a heck of a lot bigger than what they originally described it to me. So I got the Natural Heritage Plan, looked at the 4 conditions, and they were supposed to, pretty easy things, they were supposed to record the permit from Natural Heritage. They were supposed to come up with a turtle protection plan if they did any work between May 1st and September 21st. They were supposed to put up signs symbolizing the turtle habitat around the edges of the project. And then they, within 30 days after they completed it, they were supposed to submit a written report. So, they didn't do any of these things, didn't even record the permit. So, I reported this, I contacted the engineer at Natural Heritage to find out what was going on. He agreed that none of those things had been done and that the work should stop. So he contacted Groveland, town of Groveland, said stop the work, which they did. And this was all around the week of August 6th that all occurred. But in the meantime, they pretty much continued working. I believe the work was primarily done the last couple of weeks in July, which would have put them in the time when they shouldn't have been working without a turtle protection plan between May 1st and September 22nd. The other thing is that the project was planned to use 0.57 acres. Rosemary and I went out and measured it, and by our calculations, it's about 3.5 acres. So the only reason why I'm saying this is because Natural Heritage is dealing with the town of Groveland on this. And I don't know what their decision is gonna be. But in the meantime, Rosemary and I went back out because we were concerned. When I was originally told the plan, it was outside of the 200-foot Rivers Protection Act buffer to Argilla Brook, which is the back end of it, yeah, which would be like that way. So we measured it, and it's like 180 feet now because of this huge sand wall that's sitting there. It's about, you can see kind of by the dimensions here, it's about a 50-foot high wall of sand, and it's sitting there like this with no erosion control. You can already see, you know, there's erosion taking place down at the bottom. So I think that we should issue a enforcement order asking them to file a notice of intent with us as soon as possible.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I will,
I'll second that,
Okay.
certainly.
Any further discussion?
well,
Wait, I'm not sure it was a motion yet.
yeah, so I'll make a motion
Okay.
that we issue an enforcement order and asking primarily that they file a notice of intent, you know, within 30 days or some reasonable period.
I'll
Second.
I already did the first one, so I get the second one.
No,
Any
you-
discussion?
no.
Get the third.
Who's
It's,
doing that?
yeah, go ahead.
Who's doing the work?
I think it's primarily Groveland Highway Department, but I'm not sure. You know, I don't think they're gonna be happy about this, so.
Are we happy about what they're doing?
No, no. So I'm gonna go talk to, before we issue the enforcement order, I'm gonna go talk to the police chief, just to let him know what's coming, because I don't really know how much
He's
he
involved.
know, you
right.
know, whether they just signed off on this to Groveland Highway, go ahead, go do it. So I don't really know where, we have no plan, we have nothing, so I don't know anything about this other than what I've been told, you know, a year ago.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I would really appreciate you talking to him first.
Yes.
So that he's not blindsided.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because we have a pretty good relationship with him. He's been very helpful on a
And he
number of
also seems
things.
very reasonable.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
3-acre firing range? That's-
We'll put it down to inadvertence.
Well, half an acre is pretty small.
Yeah,
Let's,
this
let's
thing
start,
is
let's start with that. Half an acre,
huge.
I mean, they may have been unrealistic saying it's gonna be half an acre.
I mean, at this point, you're not gonna stop it, it's all there. I don't know what natural heritage is gonna say, but we certainly should make sure they have erosion controls
Yes,
in place and
Yeah.
prevent that thing from just, sliding down into the, stream.
Move to adjourn.
No, Rosemary,
What?
do you have your open projects list
Yeah.
for seasonal restrictions?
Yes, I do.
Motion failed.
Again.
What are the X's?
Those are completed.
least.
Oh, all right. So the ones that are still
Well,
on.
it says completed too, so, but you
Oh,
can
okay.
say which ones are completed. There's some that just need to
Okay,
file
so
for a certificate of
186
compliance.
Washington is on there for the stabilization.
Right.
268 Washington is on there, but it's completed?
It's completed, but they have to file for a
CO
Certificate.
Okay,
certificate of
Yeah, but
compliance.
that, so that doesn't, isn't affected by the seasonal
Right.
restriction.
Pines Dock replacement, is that being done this winter?
It was
No.
supposed
That's
to be
the one
done
that's-
last winter.
Right,
No, they did the dock, but it's the,
Sedimentation basin.
they were remember that whole
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, the whole thing with the breeding, the sturgeon breeding.
Well,
or whatever.
yes, but remember,
They
he
have to do
promised
it.
to put in a sedimentation pond out there when we talked about,
On the side of the hill. Yeah.
It's gone. No longer there, or it wasn't, it's
I don't think it
not.
ever went there.
No,
no, it
never
never
went there.
was there, so.
sidewalk improvements on Route 97,
Those are ongoing.
do they do a seasonal restriction?
It's state. They're
Yeah. the
They're exempt?
state-
typically exempt.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They're
Commercial,
hurrying up, though.
commercial building at 860 Salem, that's.
Oh, that's Chesterton, that's done.
Okay.
Yeah, they've already got theirs.
Yeah, they have their certificate of compliance.
Gravel removal, Zachary Lane,
Yep, that's ongoing.
We should write them a letter, though.
Okay,
Okay.
tell them about seasonal restriction,
Yeah,
okay.
just a reminder.
Yep,
all of them should get a letter, just as a reminder.
Yeah,
Groveland
and-
Fairways, yep, that's on there. Sedimentation pool at Sewell Street,
That one,
there's nothing on this, no,
It's
not
never been
started.
done.
we're in the
Okay.
midst, we've had one meeting, site review meeting with the building inspector and everybody else. And there's another one scheduled for September 26th. I don't believe that they plan on doing any work this year.
Okay. New house at 23 Stonebridge,
it's a vacant lot.
so no work,
No,
okay.
they asked for an extension, their extension will be up in April of next year.
441 Main,
That's the one that's with the riprap and all the other stuff that's,
is there work?
it's in DEP's hands.
There's a lot of us. 121 Seven Star,
Oh, that's.
Oh, that's, they haven't done anything.
Yeah, nothing's.
so we want to know,
The next two, those two on Seven Star,
okay.
neither one of them have been started or,
1 Apple Blossom, they didn't file for their,
nope.
oh,
Is that the garage?
yeah,
Still that kid?
yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Let's see, that one's completed. 129 Main, that's completed? It says completed, but it wasn't checked off. The lady that came in for her
Yeah.
addition,
Yes, yep.
okay.
That's
Shed
done.
and single-family addition, 2 Ashcroft,
That's,
We
we don't know if that one's done, we gotta go by there.
okay, this is not
We did
complete.
it already, and then we, who's just.
352
Yes.
Center, was
Yeah,
that
but
that
he only
guy
did
today?
part of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay, I thought he'd finished it, and it was now looking to.
2
back into it.
Evergreen, a deck and a circle, I mean,
That's ongoing,
addition.
that's ongoing,
92 Seven Star,
that's ongoing.
that other
It's
one.
an addition.
oh, that's an addition, okay. 908
I think
Salem,
all the bottom ones are probably ongoing or new.
4 Stonebridge, the pool.
Right,
Oh, yeah, I drove by, she has a pool.
But not that,
but she needs to put the deck.
Oh, all right.
so she needs a letter.
19 Ashcroft, oh, did we already do that?
Yeah, that was the septic system, they were putting it in,
Okay.
but,
So I would just say, Just a can letter that says, please
Okay.
finish up your projects
By
by blah, blah,
November.
blah date, and,
Okay.
or face fines.
Or,
come see us.
I would
okay,
put our fines on the letter even, I
okay,
don't know,
include it,
yeah.
okay.
Gives an
So they know-
attachment,
so they know what it
separate letter,
is.
Just saying, it attaches a list of the potential fines you could face.
There you
Okay.
go,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
excellent.
Good job.
Good job, Vice
I
Chair.
will do that.
It's my only contribution to today's meeting.
We tried to second a few
Second, yeah.
motions.
Okay, is there any discussion or anybody else? Everybody good?
Move to close.
Do you know what's that Phyllis Way? Somebody asked from the audience, I'm asking for them.
What's up with it?
Yes,
It's in planning, and they're going pretty slow.
it's in planning.
Yeah, they're going back to planning for their permits, because they had to change quite a few things. They
Okay.
wanted to change quite a few things, but, you know, it doesn't seem like they are taking into account our problems with the development. So who knows?
Okay. Go ahead, Terry.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That's it, we're done. 9 o'clock on the dot.
Ooh.
Who seconded, Heather?
Heather did.
John.
Oh, John did? I didn't hear him.
All right, guys, see you later.
Good night.
Bye.
Sure.
Yeah, let me know if you change your mind.
Yeah,
Can you guys come by?